Hey there, and welcome back to Utility Sports. In today's video, we have some breaking news. The college football playoff is set. They have done their selections, and there is so much to break down with what just transpired. Now, to start with the one that was to be expected, the Michigan Wolverines are number one. During the duration of the season, I had talked about how good Michigan football was. I had a lot of people in the comments section doubting me about their wins and things of that nature, but they had solidified themselves as the number one seed in the college football playoff. They have a phenomenal defense, more specifically, a phenomenal front seven. They have a really good running game to complement their passing game. This is a legit team in the college football playoff. I think when you look at the Michigan Wolverines in totality, they're a complete team. They're a team that's exciting, fun. To be honest, this is probably some of the best product we've seen from the Wolverines in quite some time. Now, this is when it starts to get interesting because you pivot into that number two spot, and it's the Washington Huskies, unsurprisingly. I know a lot of people actually thought that Oregon was going to win the Pac-12 championship. However, the Washington Huskies, who have been doubted all season long, remain the champions. A lot of credit to them. That was a fun game, back and forth. You look at this team, their resilience, their ability to win close games, their ability to defend, they're opportunistic when they need to be defensively, offensively. Penix is phenomenal. He is methodical. He is creative. He's everything that you would need to make a true run for a title. So the Washington Huskies, out of nowhere this year, shocked all of us, and they are the number two seed. Once again, this is not the surprising part about the college football playoff and what has transpired so far. The big concern was the rest of this list here. Where does Florida State fall in line? Does Georgia make it? Alabama, Texas. Those are all the two teams fighting for those final two spots. Now, I think this is going to shock some people when we present this here in front of you, because we have to consider number three. Number three, I'm going to try to get that to prompt here. Here it is. The Texas Longhorns are the number three team in the country. Now, some people might be asking, where is Florida State? Where is Florida State in this equation? There's no Jordan Travis. Now, I think that it's tough to say that they shouldn't make it with an undefeated record. But what they continuously tell us is it's going to be the four best teams in the playoff. And they felt that maybe that wasn't the third best team in the country. That's not to say, before I reveal number four that they didn't make it, period. But the fact of the matter is the Texas Longhorns are a team that it's very interesting. It's very interesting to see. So you have the one-loss Big 12 champions. They looked very good against Oklahoma State. They were dominant throughout. Their offense is so tough to contain on the perimeter at the tight end position with their running game. All of Texas should be excited for them. Now, you have one loss on their resume. I think when you consider Texas in total, this is a fun team. That lone loss came against Oklahoma, where there's going to be some people saying, well, Oklahoma isn't towards the top threshold of college football. Now, that's where everything gets messed up here. It's like, does Georgia, who was number one all season long and are a one-win team, are they still in the mix? Well, the answer to that is no, they aren't. They are not in the mix because Alabama, who nearly loses to Auburn, ends up being the four seed. Now, there's going to be a lot of issues with this because you left out the undefeated Florida State team. People are going to have a lot of issues with that. You have the Georgia team, who was won all year long, lose one game, which was, quote, the SEC title game, and now they are out of it completely. People are going to be so pissed. They are going to be so angry about this outcome, regardless of how it shook out. Georgia fans are going to be pissed. Florida State fans are going to be pissed. Of course, Alabama works its way back in here. They have a really nice statement win against Georgia to cap off the SEC title. There's a lot of question marks on, is this truly going? A lot of people thought that the fact of the matter was that Florida State was still going to make it, and then you were basically deciding between Bama and Texas and Georgia bidding for that final spot. However, two of those three end up making it here with Bama and Texas. This is incredible. This is incredible. A lot of people thought Bama was going to be left out. Florida State would have been in. Texas would have been that final team outside of Florida State, that would have been jumping in due to that head-to-head against Alabama. This is going to transpire in the craziest form. A lot of people, this just had come out, so a lot of people have some questions on what was the committee criteria, why did it play out this way. I have my own questions on leaving out an undefeated conference champion in favor of one of these other teams. Once again, this is a money-driven business, and what is going to drive the money? Is it going to be a backup-led Florida State Seminole team, or is it going to be an Alabama Crimson Tide, which draws well any game, any year in terms of TV? Now, they continue to say we want the best four teams, the best four teams, the best four teams. Well, at what point do you have to scrap that part of it and look at it from a conference champion perspective? I'm not even a huge Florida State advocate. What I'm saying is there's got to be some weight to being undefeated. So there's a lot of question marks that go into it. Now let's kind of talk about how this is going to shake out, how we think the college football playoff is going to shake out. Now, Michigan is a tough draw for any one of these teams because of how dominant they've been throughout the duration of the season. Iowa got to feel the wrath of it a little bit in that Big Ten title game. But Michigan's tough. Washington is resilient. That's another tough part of this. So looking at the matchup here, I think Alabama does bode pretty well against Michigan. I think Michigan still takes that game. But once again, Nick Saban and crew, they just find ways to win creatively, and they're able to just scooch out the close games at the end against good ranked opponents. And then you're kind of dealing with the dilemma of Washington and Texas. And I think Texas probably, has the upper hand in this game. I really do. And then I think it really realistically comes down to, Michigan, Texas for that title game, in my opinion. And I think that Michigan does take it all this year. However, I think that there's a lot of different combinations you can go. I don't think there's a clear and obvious champion listed here. I do have some concerns about, Michigan's passing games at times when you really need it. But at the end of the day, it's a really strong football team. Washington's always competitive. They've proven us wrong all year. Maybe that's the case once again. But those are your college football playoff rankings. I had to present that to you. Let me know in the comments section below, did they get it right? Let's see the Florida State fans voice their opinion on why they should have made it. I want Alabama fans, Georgia fans, all in the comments section. Spam it. Let me know what you think of these final rankings. I appreciate you stopping by. I had a lot of fun recording this video, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports Plus video.